Here's everything you need to know about renting a boat in Sardinia in Italy, right down to the costs. Actually, let's start with how much it costs. So we spent around €300 on this boat, but you can get it a lot cheaper. So we paid extra because we wanted to get a skipper to drive the boat around, as we were not prepared to be stranded trying to do this ourselves. And that's pretty much the only cost you'll have for the day, because there are like no shops or restaurants anywhere you're going. Actually, I lie, you do have to pay for fuel when you return the boat. Now, because we were renting a private boat, we didn't have to worry about parking our car when we arrived at Cala, Gonone, which is the town you'll want to take the boat from, as it's pretty much the gateway to some of the best spots on the island. You just leave your cars and the keys with the boat people, and they'll park it for you, and then they'll take you to your car when you come back from your boat trip. Now, the first main stop as you travel along the coast here will be Luna Beach, and you'll know you're there because of these huge caves. This is the only beach of all the other beaches you're going to be visiting today that you can actually still drive to. The rest of them you can only get to by boat or by a very long hike. Now, after leaving Luna Beach, we then popped into a lot of caves along the coast. Some of these you'll visit would actually be more impressive than others, and some other ones you can actually get out and walk through to explore it properly. This is where having a skipper to drive the boat is quite handy, as they'll know the best caves to pop into. Also, it is worth noting though that you will not have a shortage of beaches to visit, so you do have to pick quite wisely. We skipped the next beach, which was Cesena Beach, because it was too rocky, and then we skipped Biriala Beach because it was just too crowded. Our next stop was the Pools of Venus, which is not a beach, and you're not allowed to go on land here because there are huge rocks that could come tumbling down at any moment. But you do get to swim in the amazing Pools of Venus, and the water here is so clear, so warm, and absolutely gorgeous. Next to the Pools of Venus, you'll find Grotta del Fico, which is one of those caves you can walk into. But honestly, today was all about places where you could feel the sun on your skin, especially after escaping grey weather in London. We then swung past Mandalore Beach, which is not really a beach, and we were advised not to get off at there because of all the rocks that had slid down. But honestly, as far as beaches go, there are much better options to go to than this one. Next, we had the big beach that everyone tells you to go to, which is Mariolu Beach, but we decided to skip this one, despite it being like one that we were really looking forward to. The reason why was because it was so crowded and so busy that there was a queue, not just of people, but an actual queue of boats waiting to get on the island. It just got so busy that the authorities there had to limit the boats like one on and one off on the island, and we just weren't prepared to sit there and wait for like 30 minutes just to get onto the beach. Our guide actually told us that right next to this beach was another equally amazing beach called Gabbiani Beach that the crowd at Mariolu Beach wouldn't think to visit, and so we just decided to go there instead. Oh, and when he said right next door, he wasn't kidding. Like, it's literally the same beach separated by a rock, and it was absolutely gorgeous. That beach turned out to be one of the highlights of the day, probably because by this point we were starving and then proceeded to work our way through all the food and drinks we'd packed for this boat trip. After this beach, we headed to the place you're definitely not supposed to miss on your boat trip in Sardinia, and that's Golorizze Beach. Before we got there though, we got an added benefit of having a local skipper guide us, and that was finding these blue caves at Sorgenti di Golorizzo Beach. Thing is, the boats can only take you so far here, so you have to swim the rest of it, and honestly, at one point, it felt like we were training for the Olympics. It's a longer swim, but it's actually relatively easy, and is so worth it once you get into the caves. The color in them is so amazing. The beach itself is quite rocky though, so you'll get a foot massage that will make you wince while walking over it. Then we finally headed off to Golorizze Beach, and if you thought the other beach was a long swim, this one was like way longer. It's the one beach that boats are not allowed to dock on here, so you have to either hike there or swim from your boat. Now, if you travel any further down the coast from this point, all you'll have are like staggering mountains and some caves, so we decided to turn back instead and went in search of dolphins on the way back. That turned out to also be quite a highlight too.